Alright, fuckers. We're going to do things, try something a little different this time. Looking through some of the news headlines. The first page that I went to happened to be, I usually just like to do a search for today's news, grab the top 3 sites, open them up in a couple separate tabs, and kind of go through and talk about how stupid they are. No, it's not really news. This time, first one I was scrolling through, I saw a little headline. Actually clicked on it, which I do occasionally. Sometimes I read the shit. If I find it, actually interesting, which most of it it's not so much. So instead of going through multiple pages and ranting and raving and getting sidetracked, like I so often do, I'm going to focus on this one story. And I'm going to rant and rave and probably get sidetracked talking about this one thing. Okay, I guess it's really not all that different from what I usually do. The only difference is I'm just focusing on one headline. And it was it says we may be closing in on the discovery of alien life. Are we prepared? I think that's dumb. Are we prepared? Does it matter? Are we prepared for any of the fucking, shit, they came up with fucking nuclear bombs. Were we prepared for that when we fucking, World War II kind of nuked Japan? Were we really prepared for that? I don't think so. Sure, it was effective in ending the war. Anyway, that's not I don't want to get sidetracked this early, this quick, and by that far. I'm over here. It's just no. All right, sticking with the alien shit. Now a lot of people, because this has come up in conversation before, the whole alien life thing. Even UFOs. UFO doesn't necessarily mean little green men from Mars and flying saucers. UFO literally stands for unidentified flying object. If something whizzes past your head when you're out in the woods, you didn't see what it was. It was flying. It was an object, and you couldn't identify it. Boom, UFO. Probably a bird, giant, really big bug, maybe a moth or a bat. Could have been a flying squirrel. You don't know because you couldn't identify it. Doesn't just, immediately go to, spaceman. But the whole, life on other planets, I think is a stupid question. Because I think absolutely there's life on other planets. I think it's a little arrogant to think that we are the only planet that has any kind of any sort of life on it. Even statistically, just the Milky Way, they estimate, and they don't even know for sure how many, but they estimate. I looked it up. It's, somewhere between 200 and 400 billion stars just in our Milky Way galaxy. And you look out there, and there's a whole bunch of other galaxies. You got the Andromeda Galaxy, which they estimate has more stars than the Milky Way, our galaxy. All right? So with 2 to 400 billion stars, billion, that's a fuckload. And they're now discovering that a huge number of those actually have planets around them. And a lot of those planets, They're figuring out ways to measure how far they are from the stars by the amount of, I don't know, they find a star and they wait for it to flicker, for the light output to go down. And they found that when a planet crosses in front of the star, between us and the star, it dims some of the light because it's blocking some of that light that comes. Bigger the planet, the more the dimming. And I don't know, bunch of nerds smarter than me in that particular field. I figured out ways to measure something, some sort of nerd shit, that'll tell them how far away the planets are from their stars. And there's a decent number in the what they call the Goldilocks zone. They say that that life as we know it, that's the big qualifier, as we know it. A lot of people just assume that we fucking know everything. We fucking don't. There's shit out there we don't know. We don't know what's inside a black hole. They can theorize. They can theorize that black holes are a thing. They don't have... one guy says, I got proof because the gravity's distorted. Well, but by what? We can't see anything. Well, we measured this. Well, but you can't really... There's a lot of stuff that they don't have 100% proof. It's just, that's a really good theory. Sounds about right. We'll go with that. Don't know for sure. There's not a whole lot of absolutes that we know. It's beyond our fucking, beyond our planet. And they're only talking, the article's only talking about Mars, finding life on Mars. And they say that that life as we know it, there's that qualifier again, needs liquid water to exist. It has to have liquid water. But they've found bacteria on the outside of the fucking International Space Station. How much water is on the outside of the International Space Station? Is it actually, there's a guy, what the hell's his name? Owen Benjamin. Does a lot of talk. Where he theorizes that a lot of this stuff doesn't actually exist. Like the moon isn't the moon. It's not like a spherical, because the way the light hits it, it doesn't, the light doesn't hit it like it would hit a sphere, but different phases of the moon you can see. I don't know. Some of the stuff he says sounds right. Some stuff sounds, I don't know, a little out there. I tend not to accept anything. I tend to question a lot of stuff. A lot. I will not hesitate to run up the bullshit flag on anything that I don't feel has been fully explained enough. Anyway, so you got plenty of planets around lots of stars, many in the Goldilocks zone where it's not so close to the sun, their particular sun, that it, gets super hot, boils off all the water, or it's too far away and all the water freezes and it's just a ball of ice. Whereas now they're saying, I forget which one it is. One of the moons of, I think Jupiter's moons, big ice ball, but the striations in the ice keep changing, which implies that there is a liquid ocean underneath the ice. So now there's fucking liquid water out by fucking Jupiter. Maybe there's, space whales. Who the fuck knows? We're not going and drilling through the fucking ice on one of Jupiter's moons or Saturn's moons. Again, I don't remember which one. I'm not a fucking astronomer, astrologist, or whatever the fuck, nerd title they have for this shit. But I read a lot of things, and a lot of shit just makes me question. So, with all these other, 200 to 400 billion stars just in the Milky Way, some of which have, many of which have planets, some of which have planets in the Goldilocks zone where they can have liquid water, which is a requirement for the development of life as we know it. Again, we don't fucking know. We don't have all the answers. We can only go by life here on this planet, because that's what we can go up and we can poke it with a stick. Go, what the fuck are you? And when it eats your fucking face off, the guy behind you says, oh shit, it's a face eater. Living in the water. I guess they need liquid water. I don't fucking know. Again, alright, sidetracking. Swerve back. So, all these planets around all these stars that are in the Goldilocks zone, where we just say fucking life didn't develop there. If they are in a place where they can have liquid water, and that's what they say that life needs to evolve and survive and all that kind of shit. Really, we're gonna say that there's no life out there, and it's just in our galaxy, 200. And we'll just go with the lesser, okay? Because they're plus or minus 150 billion, because they don't know, and that's just our galaxy, just the Milky Way. They don't even fucking know plus or minus 150 billion. That's a big plus or minus. I mean, that's, it's either half or it's double. Well, fuck, we don't know. They don't know. But they're the ones that we're turning to for all the fucking answers. And then some people will get, a part of an answer from one guy that is just theorizing, meaning he's just kind of kicking back in his chair thinking of shit. Doesn't have any actual proof. He's got a little bit of data here and there, and he'll look at it one way and go, I think this. He puts out his paper. People reading go, there's no other life on the other, billions of planets. Well, let's just say that half of the 200 billion planets, or 200 billion stars, has planets around them. So 100 billion stars have planets. And let's say that on average they have half as many as we do. Which is 8 now, because they can't make up their mind as to whether or not Pluto's a fucking planet. As far as I'm concerned, Pluto's a fucking planet. It was a planet when I was in school. Why the fuck's it got to change? It's not like, that far away from the sun. It's been melting and it got smaller. I don't buy it. It's a fucking planet. Whether you want to call it a dwarf planet, I don't care. Fuck you, nerds. Pluto's a goddamn planet. Because I want it to be. So, anyway, let's say that half of the stars have planets, and that's on average, let's say they have half the planets that we do. All right, so that's 400 billion planets. And that's just doing an average. So out of 400 billion planets, let's say 5%. Well, let's do 10%. It's easier to figure in my head math-wise. So 10% of 400 billion planets is what? 400 million? Somewhere in there? So I don't know, drop a zero, right? Yeah, so let's say, or no, that would be like 40 billion. Yeah, fuck, 40 billion. So 40 billion, and we'll just say 10%, and we'll even take it down to 1%. All right? 1%. Let's say there's a billion planets. Out of the 400 billion, let's say there's 4 billion planets, and we'll go down to just 1 billion planets that are in the Goldilocks zone. I think statistically that it's as good a theory as any of the others. I'll tell you that shit right now. Because all I'm doing is the same shit that nerds are doing. I'm just sitting around thinking of shit and putting out my thoughts and ideas. If you think it has merit, cool. If you think I'm full of shit, run up the flag. You're an idiot. Not something I haven't heard before. Again, not my area of expertise. But let's say out of 400 billion planets, and again, just guessing, same as the fucking nerds. But let's say 1 billion of them. I'll even go down to 100 million. Okay, I'll even drop that fucking far. 100 million in the Goldilocks zone that have the propensity of having liquid water. So out of 100 million planets that could have liquid water, life never develops. Ever. No kind of life. It's just dead water. It just sits there, does nothing. It's fucking useless. You know, even its fucking parent water is like, you're trash. Fuck you, you useless water. You just sit there and do nothing all day, you lazy piece of shit. And no life ever fucking out of 100 million fucking planets with liquid water. And that's just in the Milky Way. That's just our fucking galaxy. And you look out there and they've got fucking pictures of, I don't know how fucking many, millions or billions of other fucking galaxies that also have, 2 to 4 or 600 billion fucking stars in them. Many with fucking planets. So there's another, 400 billion fucking planets in each of the fucking billion galaxies. You're talking huge, huge fucking numbers. Like you could take a sheet of paper and just put a 4 and just keep writing zeros until your fucking hand explodes. Out of that many fucking planets. And even just a fraction, 1% of those in the fucking zone where liquid water could exist, and you really think that no life took a hold anywhere else, anywhere in the fucking galaxy. If you flip a coin, even if you had a 1 billion sided fucking die and you roll it, eventually you're going to roll a 6. Statistically speaking, if you had a fucking, billion sided die and you just kept fucking rolling it, 600 trillion times, or however many fucking zeros it is, you're gonna get a 6. It may take you a while, but you're gonna fucking roll a 6 eventually. Statistically speaking, law of averages, probabilities, all that kind of happy horse shit, you roll that billion sided die, eventually, at some point, it's gonna land on 6. It has to. After a trillion fucking rolls, you're gonna get a 6. You're probably gonna get more than 1. It's only a billion sides. Odds of landing on a 6 are 1 in a billion, but you got a fucking trillion tries at it. Or even more than that, 100 trillion tries. Who fucking knows how many goddamn stars are out there? In all of these billions of fucking galaxies, each with billions of fucking stars, with billions of fucking planets. You're in the fucking, imaginary fucking Googleplex numbers or whatever the fuck, That's a shit ton of fucking planets. And again, if just 1% of them is in that fucking zone, it's still a shit ton of fucking planets. So to just blindly think that no life has ever fucking happened anywhere else in all those fucking places, I think you're an idiot. Or willfully ignorant. Or I don't know what the fuck. But so with all that, to me it just seems a no-brainer that there's life elsewhere, even from a religious aspect. God created the earth and the heavens above, and you look and he created 200 billion stars just in our little galaxy. Do you think we're his only So he made all that, and he says, I'm just going to put life on this one little dot. And that's it, I'm done. You know, God is infinite, right? He is everywhere, at every moment, and all time. Before, before the world was without form and void, and God said, "Let there be light," and He made 200 billion stars just in this one galaxy. Then He made some more galaxies with billions more stars. You saying He couldn't have fucking done the same thing on another planet, another galaxy, even in our own fucking galaxy, around a different star? That seems a little arrogant to try and limit God's powers by that. You know? Maybe He saw how we're fucking things up, so He did the same thing elsewhere. So let's see how these guys do. All right, they're going down the same road. Let's do it over here. I'm gonna sneeze. Ha! Oh, the dog always gets concerned when I sneeze. Usually she thinks that it means that I have food, and then I've decided to offer it to her. Oh, hello. Yes, are you sniffing my nose? Nose to nose, boop. Can I boop? Can I boop the nose? Boop. Thank you. Anyway, I like to think that there's a whole planet just of dogs. Huh. With steak machines. Steaks that just fall out of the sky, and you guys can just run around and eat steak. And maybe chase a few squirrels. Yeah, squirrels. You like chasing squirrels? Well, they're not in here. You don't have to keep looking around for the squirrels in here, you numbskull. According to my dog, squirrels teleport. She will see a squirrel, and she will go out and she will chase it, and it goes up a tree. We got two big trees, one on either side of the yard. Well, one's way in one corner, and then the other one's maybe 2/3 of the way over. So she chases the squirrel at one tree, she will immediately turn around and run over to the other tree. Because they teleport, don't they? Those fucking squirrels. And I bet if there's a dog planet, they got non-teleporting squirrels, so you can actually catch them and bonk them on the head. Huh. Yes. She would love to bonk a squirrel on the head. She bonks the cats on the head all the time. Actually, she kind of humps them. She is a cat humping freak. My dog is a bi-species lesbian rapist who only humps cats because we don't have any other dogs. And she's a girl. I don't know why she's out there humping the cats. It's kind of weird. One of the cats, poof. She'll just, whatever, get it over with. And then we can like trot around the yard together and check stuff out. GK, cat that my son picked out. I think he was 4 or 5. And so he named GK. I named Poof because she's a poofy cat. I named Lump because Lump doesn't put a whole lot of effort into things. Lump was laying on my bed one time when I let her in, and she laid in the same spot for 3 days. I don't mean she was, and not just the same, I mean the same position. She laid down at the foot of the bed and didn't move. It's not like she was, she's at the foot of the bed, but she's like, shifted position. No, she didn't change position. Cat didn't move for 3 days. Second day, every time I walked past, I would poke at her just to see if she was dead. That's how little she was moving. She just lays there like a fucking lump. Which is how she got her name, Lump. Because she's just a lumpy cat. Just a lump of useless catness. I'm not a cat person. My son likes cats. So, we have a bunch of cats. Because Dad's a big sap. But GK, and GK's the oldest cat. GK doesn't like getting humped. Um, but catches her sometimes, and then she'll, run up the post for the deck, or try and elevate herself. She'll jump up on the hot tub where dog can't get her. Poof just puts up with it till Cutie's done, and then they just kind of wander around the yard together and hang out. Lump doesn't put up with that shit. Lump will just smack her. So she walks a wide circle around the Lumposaurus, huh? Yes, you don't like the Lump because she's a meanie. So, yeah, I think there's life out there. And I don't mean there's fucking spacemen, you know? It could be just plants. It could be algae. It could just be all microbes and shit like that. But to say that there's no life anywhere other than here, I think is ignorant. That's my stance. And that's all I'm doing on this today. For now. Alright. Me and the dog, we're going to get the boy. You want to go get the boy? Should we get the boy? Oh, Jesus. Up. And she launched herself off my lap. She does that. She likes to go get the boy. She will just run down there and jump on his head and wake his ass up. It's the weekend. He's a teenager. We were up late. Spooktober continues. Anyway, that's my take on this whole thing. And I there's more other things to discuss, but we're getting a little long here, so I'll just go with the whole probability thing. Billions and billions of stars with billions of planets. If even just a little bit's in that zone, what do you think the odds are that, that there's life on planets that are very similar to Earth in the same, range from the sun that have liquid water? So don't tell me there's no possibility of fucking life out there. There's way too many other fucking places. And that's just in the Milky Way. And there's billions of other fucking universes. You got the Andromeda universe, you got the other one, and the other one, Andromeda's the only one that fucking jumps to mind right now. Anyway, I think it's out there. Again, not saying it's fucking aliens, or little fucking spacemen. It could be other people. We don't know. We could have fucking, talking dinosaurs on one of these fucking things, driving Corvettes. Big ones. They'd have to be big Corvettes, because, I personally, I like the thought, the idea, and the mental image of like a Stegosaurus and a Triceratops fucking drag racing. That amuses me. Do I think that that's what's going on? No. But it's possible. It's within the realm of possibility. So unless you go to all of these little other fucking planets around all these other billions of fucking stars that are light years away from us, you're not going to convince me. Unless you go there and say, yeah, I didn't find shit. We keep sending things to Mars, and I ain't found shit yet. But, it's possible. There's ice there. And for there to be ice, there had to be water. Because that's kind of what ice is made out of. Made out of water. So there is water on Mars. Is it liquid form? Well, we don't know. Not at the surface. Doesn't mean that there's, we got water under the surface here. They drill down to the aquifer, get water out. Maybe Mars has an aquifer. We don't know. We're not fucking drilling down, looking for water. Kind of rough to send that kind of shit up there. So, we don't know. And the missions that we send, they're in very little, let's say they set a probe here and it lands in Death Valley. Not a whole lot of life there. Not a whole lot of water there. So they could be, thinking from their instruments, maybe they can't, their telescopes aren't that good from light years away. But, so their probe lands in a desert somewhere and they think, it's just a barren, shitty planet. Yeah, so that thing goes around, lands in the Gobi Desert, lands in the Sahara. There's places out there that's just fucking sand forever. Nothing really growing. So you send a probe to us, and it lands in that one little spot, Death Valley. They're not going to find shit. They're going to find a bunch of rocks and sand, just like we're seeing on Mars. Hey, maybe the Mars landings are fake and they're just fucking filming the Death Valley or the Gobi Desert. We don't fucking know. It's possible. I don't know. It's a lot of questions. But based on the numbers, I find it hard to believe that there's no life out there anywhere. And it's going to be tough to convince me otherwise, just from a statistical standpoint. So, yeah, I think if you're not prepared to accept that there's things that we don't know, I think you're dumb. So, try not to be dumb. All right, open your mind a little bit to new ideas. And I guess that's it, really. I don't really have a good wrap up for this. So, I'm at the 32-minute mark almost. So, I'm going to go have the dog attack the boy, because that'll be fun. And I'll see you fuckers next time.